Hello and welcome everybody to this Let's Play of Konung, Legends of the North, with your host as always, Mah-Dry-Bread. If you're searching up this game, you probably also, like me, when growing up, you probably got, in a bargain bin somewhere, a triple pack of the game's Clan, or was it Clans? Clan, Konung, and Disciple. Now, Disciples was really good, especially its sequel, Disciples 2. Don't play Disciples 3. Clan, I don't remember anything about it, and neither does anyone, but Konung has the distinction of being kind of good? It's hard to describe. It's hard to get this game even running. My god, was it hard to get this game recording. But I'll get into how hard this was to get recording on the next episode. You probably want to see the game. That or you were just hunting through good old games and you saw this. It'll look a little janky. You'll wonder if this is a bad recording or if I'm playing it on a bad computer. Nope. That's just how the game is. You see that cursor? How it's lagging all around? It's like that when I'm playing. It's just how the game is. It's how it was back in the day, too. If we look at the options menu, we can see that, oh boy, you don't have many choices. Oh, and, you'll notice I'm on the low resolution? About half the time you boot the game, it'll just put it on the wrong resolution, so we're just gonna change that. Alright everybody, we've defeated the resolution boss. Next we need to defeat the music boss. Now we're turning off the music, boom, for two reasons. The first reason we're turning off the music is because it's awful. In fact, the music didn't even work when I was growing up playing it as a kid. I just thought the game didn't actually have music. It turns out that good old games had to patch the music back into the game. And two, there's a glitch where if you let all of the music loop all the way through, your game can crash. So we're just not gonna play with music. The ambient noises in the game are better than the music anyway. New game. Oh, and for a little bit of context, if you want to get sold on this game before we actually get into the gameplay itself, I'm about to play for you the opening cutscene of the game. Enjoy!
Eons ago, during the Age of Magic, the Earth was ruled by ancient gods. They commanded the peoples of their domains, the mightiest of which was the Nordic clan. The Nordic possessed many formidable magical artifacts, the most potent of all, the Bracelet of Lordship. Carved from a mysterious dragonstone, the artifact was a gift from the gods, who themselves had wrestled the bracelet from the hands of their forefathers. The power of the bracelet was such that it gave its masters control over the minds of mortal men. But the Age of Magic was not to last forever. The twilight of the gods was finally upon them. The Nordic clan hid the bracelet deep in uncharted lands, where mortals would settle thousands of years later. They hoped that when the moon and the stars were just right, the bracelet would be restored and their people would once again rise to power. The gods favored the heroes of the North and placed a dragon to guard the dreadful treasure. The task of keeping eternal vigil over the bracelet was given to Or, one of the demigods. To aid him, the gods gave him an amulet, which granted him control over the dragon. The years passed. Centuries became millennium. Or kept his vigil and guarded the dragon amulet that would give its master control over the dragon, and thereby control over the Bracelet of Lordship. He gathered a small clan around him, waiting for the day when the true masters of the Bracelet of Lordship would return. Then, one fateful day, the Yellow Dogs, creatures of chaos and destruction, found Or and his warriors in a small encampment. The dogs were the eternal enemies of the Nordic clan, and their forces heavily outnumbered Or's band of mere mortals. The bloody battle raged for 3 long hours, until Or saw that only 10 of his men were still standing, with no chance of escape. Realizing that death was imminent, Or resolved to never let the dragon amulet fall into the hands of his enemies. His heart filled with sorrow, he broke the amulet into 3 pieces, and sent his loyal hawks to take the fragments to his old and trustworthy friends and comrades in arms. The first hawk flew towards the camp of the Slavic hero Veslav, but the mighty bird never reached its destination. The bird fell from the sky, killed by an arrow. The marksman was Wolf, a mysterious wanderer who dwelt in the woods of the northern lands. He hoped for the power of the bracelet to help him build a mighty kingdom in the Slavic lands. The second part of the amulet reached Sigurd, a Viking hero of true valor. It was to be his doom. One night Sigurd was slain by his trusted friend Eric. The traitor lusted for the amulet and the power of the bracelet, and with the fragment in his hands, he set out on a war against the Slavic tribes. The third hawk flew to Byzantium and the hero Constantine. A sense of doom came over Or's old friend when he received his part of the amulet. Realizing that something horrible had happened to Or, Constantine understood that on him alone the fate of the Bracelet of Lordship depended. Signing on as a guard with a trade caravan, he was soon on his way to the northern lands. 2 months later, the fates of these 3 descendants of the ancient gods would cross in these fateful lands.
Wasn't that magical? 1999 Russian video game, everybody. Great ideas, horribly programmed. That is what Russian video games all the way until 2012, I want to say, we're all about. Hard enough to get this game running on a 2018 computer, but again, we'll get into that next episode if you want fun behind-the-scenes story of how I got this game recording. So you've already learned a little bit about Eric, Constantine, and Wolf. You can pause and read here if you'd like to read more about them. But all you need to know is this changes what some of your quests will be, where you'll start, and how different villages of the game will react to you. Eric is a Viking, Wolf is a Slav, and Constantine is Byzantine, so Roman or Greek, but culturally they would have identified as Roman. So this is consider this your easy, medium, hard. Eric is easy mode. He can talk his way into owning pretty much every village in the game. You can become the owner of villages and make money through that, and get people trained up for you to become your companions, stuff like that. Mostly it's about the money. But Eric can talk his way into, or complete quests to, become the chief of basically any village. Wolf here is Slavic. He's kind of like normal difficulty. He will have, I think it's about half the villages you can convert just by doing quests for them or talking to them, but some of them you're going to have to conquer if you want them. You don't need the villages, but they help a lot. Constantine's hard mode. He's a foreigner. I don't believe he can talk his way into getting any village to join him, maybe 1 or 2, but if he wants to take any new villages that aren't abandoned camps at the beginning of the game, he's going to have to conquer them. He's hard mode. We're going to go with Wolf. Either than that, there's basically aesthetic differences. You can see they all dress differently. But we're going to take Wolf, which is medium difficulty. He's Wolf the Slav. He was the hunter who shot down the Raven in the beginning of the game. Next, we get to pick our class. We have Leader, Warrior, Merchant, and Hunter. You could read these and see what they're like, but they don't describe it particularly well. Leader here is a lot of charisma at the start. You can see your charisma, strength, dexterity, and vitality. A leader starts with a ton of charisma. Charisma is how many people you can have in your party at a time. It's the least important of the 4 main stats. It's nice having a lot of people in your party, although a little bit micromanagey, but the problem with that is the experience is not pooled. It's given to whoever gets the killing blow. You'll have a very hard time leveling up early if you're going to be a leader, so I wouldn't recommend it. A warrior excels in strength, but also has a good amount of vitality. Strength is how much damage you deal on your attacks, as well as how good of swords and shields you can wield. They also have reasonably high vitality. Vitality is how good of chest armor you can wear, as well as, I believe it's how little damage you take or how much health you have. One of the two, essentially living through more hits. Lastly, we can get dexterity if we were to be a hunter. Dexterity determines how good of bows you can use and how good of helmets you can wear, as well as your chance to both hit and dodge attacks. Dexterity is very important, although hunter is not the most popular class in the game, just because archery is good, but swords and axes tend to be better. Merchant has high vitality, although also high strength. They're not all that different from warriors, as you can see here. Vitality also determines how much you can carry, as you can see by max weight there. Max group for everyone is 1, which is just yourself unless you're a leader. It's every 10 or 15 charisma or so will allow you to have another person. I don't believe the number actually scales perfectly, like every 10 you get a new person. I believe the number changes from person to person. So I recommend for a new character being a warrior or a merchant because strength and vitality are both really, really good, especially early on. Vitality is both what chest armor you can wear as well as what axes you can have. Axes or clubs. Clubs count as axes for whatever reasons. And both axes and swords are very good weapons. So we're going to go with a wolf. We'll go with a merchant. So we have high strength, very high vitality, low dexterity, and charisma, but we can change it around. And you can see we can redistribute points if we want to, but I'm perfectly happy with what we have here. We'll be getting more points later. Your base stats do matter in some degree, though, because to level up, although leveling is dubious in what it even does, for the most part you spend experience on directly getting these points, but you can also upgrade your total level, whatever you want to call that, based on increasing your base stats. So if I wanted to level up, I wouldn't just need a lot of strength and vitality, I'd also need to get my charisma and dexterity up, and what number I'd need to get it to is based on my base stats. So if I had 1 charisma at the beginning, I'll barely ever need to raise charisma to level up. So I'm happy with all of this. This is perfectly fine. Next we pick our weapon skill. We either pick fencing or archery. Now, what this changes, aside from, I believe, makes us better with either swords and axes with fencing or bows with archery, although it's dubious if that actually does anything. The game is vague about how things work. It also gives us better blacksmithing or building skills, you can see there. Now, so far as anyone online can tell, it seems like blacksmithing and building for your own personal character don't really do anything. You care about those skills on NPCs because you can have them join your villages and allow you to do better things. So your skill in these doesn't really matter. So this matters. We get to pick identification, bartering, or healing. Identification is your ability to identify relics or items that are magical in nature on your own. Bartering means you get better buying and selling prices at stores, and healing, which is my favorite, is your alchemy skill. How much concentration of a mixture in alchemy you get every time you make something. This is really, really nice. The problem is it's very easy to get this skill up. So I think I'm going to start with identification. And money is not terribly hard to come by once you start getting a few villages. So identification is the hardest one of those skills to get, so we'll start with higher identification skill. The alchemy system in this game is very cool, though. So we hit OK. And we're in the game. Is there... Ooh, that's a glitch we ran into, everybody. Oh, no. Okay. The glitch fixed itself. There was supposed to be sound effects playing. They didn't play. Now they're playing. Okay, now we got the volume exactly how it should be. So this is what the game looks like. We can walk around. This is us right here. You can see our health bar right there. It's that green thing to the next of our portrait. These are where all of our team members will be as we get party members. We're in a home village right now. These are our weapons. We can switch between 1 and 3. We only have 1 right now. Spacebar is to draw our weapon or put it away. M for map. You can see this is our map so far. Our village is called Springs. That's it, because it's like a spring that we live in. Basically a marsh. Follow me and attack are orders that I can give to my followers, of which we have none. Q for information. This is our journal. We'll write in here as we go. And I for inventory. This is our character sheet. Now, I'm going to teach you a few things that you might not have known about because it's in the manual and a lot of people didn't read the manual. 1, hit the tilde key. That's the key just to the left of 1. And you can have your inventory right there, actively on your bar, because the inventory button does not pause the game. So you'll want to be able to drink health potions in battle. I really recommend you always have this here open. I know it looks like we don't have a whole lot of real estate on the screen to work with, but it's worth it. The next thing that you might not know about, when you're in one of these menus and, oh no, I'm getting attacked, what can you do? Hit T. Makes your menus transparent, so you can still see what's going on, since it doesn't pause the game. So we're going to be using that. And some people don't know what the auto button does. The auto button makes it so it'll automatically distribute your experience. I believe it does it evenly, but God, who knows. And we have a fencing skill and an archery skill. All right, without further ado, I could walk around and talk to a bunch of people and get a bunch of quests, but first I just want to right click on this peanut and this herb. We're gonna go pick them up, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of the combat before we get started. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, this walking speed is brutally, horrifically slow. On your numpad, you can hit the plus and minus buttons, and there are 3 speeds in the game. We're on normal. Now it's on fast. Now it's on really fast. When we were in the options earlier, you might have noticed that I had day-night cycle turned off. All it does is make it hard to see shit, because day and night doesn't actually matter in the game. It just makes the world look different, and it's harder to see things. So outside we have some giant ants. These are level 1 giant ants, as you can see at the bottom of the screen when I hover over them. Level 1 giant ant, 100 health. We're gonna hit space, and we can right click on them, we'll start attacking. Now, we don't have a shield, and a shield would be really nice. So I think what I'm gonna do, max speed, and we're just gonna walk around the perimeter of the village. There's the shield. There's always a few items laying around the village at the beginning, and we want to pick those up. I believe there's 2 or 3 in this village from the beginning. Oh, we're walking around, okay. Now you can only scroll the map a little bit, and how much you can scroll it depends on where you're standing. It's like Fallout 1 in that way. You also can't move the screen diagonally at any time. You need to go like down, then right, then down, then right, and stuff like that. So we're just walking the perimeter of the village to make sure that there's nothing we want to go pick up. I could hear an ant out there. You'll notice there are people walking around the village. Looks like that was the only thing for us. At least the only one I noticed. The people walking around, we can actually recruit and everything once we have a high enough skill. This counts as our village, our starting one. So we're gonna take this shield and equip it. Our current weight is a bit higher. You can see that our armor is up by 4, plus 4. And it demands 10 strength because it's a shield. Shields require strength, and so do swords. And we're using a knife, I believe it is? Yes, a knife. With a weapon power of 60, which is quite weak. Only requires 3. Hey, am I getting attacked? No, I just heard ant noise, I was making sure. Now, as enemies hit you, you might kind of stumble, and then you flinch and you don't attack back. Having armor helps with that. Let's fight. Looks like it's just gonna be these 2 ants, which will be perfectly fine at fighting. So we just leave it now. We can look at our health up here. You can see it's going down. Wolf, the merchant, yeah, losing health. Oh, they're getting back up. So they're only getting hurt when you see them flinch there, I believe. So we can hover over these potions. You right-click a potion to drink it. One's dead. These are concentration 7. Max is 15. The way concentration on a healing salve works is whatever number the concentration is, it heals you that times 10. Wow, we're looking grisly. We're missing a lot, too. Let's just, don't have enough experience for dexterity, okay. We're getting unlucky on these swings. Let's drink a potion, heal back up. And dexterity, there we go. Dexterity is our hit chance. We want to get that up early, because these ants shouldn't be too difficult. There we go, 3 kills. We have our empty jar. We got a ring. It's unknown ring, so our identification skill isn't good enough to figure out what it is. A potion, and a bracelet that we also find unknown. Oh, and a shield. We also picked up a shield. This shield has the same armor as ours. Yeah, but this is also plus 4 armor on this one, so this one's better. So we'll probably sell off that other shield. These totems here with this little thing on the ground, that's how you travel from one area to another. And we need more experience before we can distribute it. So what I'd recommend right now in the game is just walk around the outskirts of the village, look for equipment, and kill some ants to get experience. So that's what we're gonna do. So a 7 concentration healing salve will heal us by 70 health, is what I was saying earlier. Let's track them up here so that when they die, we can see where their items are easily. I can't believe they're not aggroing on me yet. Oh, here we go. So 2 concentration will heal 20 health. 6 will heal 60. Now, I told you before, the highest concentration of a potion is 15. If you're wondering why would you ever have a 15 value healing salve, considering that's more than max health, I don't know. You just would unless you're selling it. Alright, he's beating us up a bit. Drink a big healing potion. Gonna go over here so we can look at the other ones. Get that dexterity up to 6. Really up that healing, or sorry, that hit chance and our dodge chance. You can see we're hitting them a lot more reliably now. Just getting ready for another healing. It's normal to blow through your healing potions fast in early game. So this is pretty normal. Here we go. Come on, we're missing a lot here. Something goes on going, I want to see the health of the enemy. That's a bad thing. If things overlap, you get little problems like that a lot. Unknown ring. An empty jar. A bracelet. A shield. Nothing special on the shield. Unknown object, unknown. Healing salve. Okay. And to get that dexterity up again. And we'll put a point in vitality as well, because that is important to us. Now we want proper armor, and we want it early. So we're just going to explore around a little bit. This map isn't very big. Oh, hey, we don't want to be messing with poisonous spiders just yet. Poison is very dangerous. So we're gonna back off of them. If we get far enough, they won't follow. Are they still following? No, it looks like they gave up. Okay. We want to get over to that axe. Which, we can go down here. Or we can go back in the village and walk around to the other gate, but, you know. Oh, hey. We'll fight you on the bridge. That way we can fight them one by one. And you can notice I'm keeping the camera to the right a little bit. I just want to make double sure that spiders aren't walking at us. Regular spiders, level 2 spiders, we could take them. Poisonous spiders, I don't mess with. Okay, they're trying to walk around the really, really long way. Which is fine. We'll kill these guys by then. There we go. No, no, no. Automatically, he wanted to go attack to the right, which are more spiders. I don't want to fight them. Dagger. Dagger with extra damage towards ants. Boom. We equipped it. So this one deals bonus damage to ants. You can see there, we one-shot them. That's awesome. And we got a helmet. As well as a ring of +4 armor. We will wear that. There we go. We've increased our armor rating. We need 8 dexterity for this leather helm. So we'll save up our experience. It's looking like we have another travel point over there into some kind of cave. Or is that a tunnel? Is that a tunnel or a cave? I don't remember, actually. Let's go in. This is a cave, which is probably way too dangerous for us right now. Oh, God, I love that cheesy effect there. That is a poisonous worm level 6. That would absolutely annihilate us, so we're going to leave here. Now, enemies will respawn eventually as enough time goes by. So as we speed up the clock like this, more will spawn eventually. But it's really not a big deal. It's just for the sake of power leveling more than anything. I think this is the last grouping of ants over here. Oh, this is popping up basically to tell us, hey, you can't carry anymore. Okay, they're not aggroed on me. So what we're gonna do, I could drop things. But, or I could increase vitality, or I could sell things. There's a few solutions, but the first thing I'm gonna do, take one of my potions I already have, put a white root in it. White root is for healing salves. So you can see we just upped this concentration by 0.5. And we're also gonna take an empty jar and put a peanut in it. Boom. We've made 2 weak oil concentrations. Too weak to do anything with. Now, what oil does is if you get strong enough oil, you can mix it with arrows to make flaming arrows. It's good for burning down buildings. And I believe some enemies it's strong against, but I'm not sure which ones. This new sword is so good against ants. Alright, what are we picking up here? Healing potion, healing potion. Okay, more healing potions. And a ring. Oh, +3 vitality ring. We'll wear that. You can wear a ring, by the way, that gives you a stat. You can see your base and our current. You can actually wear a ring, or whatever it is, to increase your skill enough to wear an item and then take it off. Good thing to know. So we get healing skill every time we brew potions, by the way. We can mix potions together to make higher quality potions. Now, we don't get an empty jar out of it, but that's fine. So let's take some of the weight off of us by mixing some of our potions to get ones of higher concentrations. And of course, these sell better as well. There we go. Now, the alchemy system is actually a really cool system in this game. We can mix a lot of things. So, for instance, we could mix oil and healing salve, and I believe that makes us homebrew. Homebrew is an interesting one. You get a bunch of charisma, strength, and vitality at the cost of dexterity. So it's iffy on whether you want to drink homebrew or not. And we'll pick up this stuff. But you can mix homebrew with other things. In fact, I believe it's mixing homebrew with poison is what you really, 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 really want to do. Because that is a potion of wisdom. And a high enough level of potion of wisdom will give you a ton of experience. Now, it lowers your dexterity, vitality, something like that, for a few days. Okay, we found a club. A club of +2 strength. It's stronger than our dagger, but as long as we're fighting ants, we'll keep the anti-ant dagger, because that's definitely better for this. Looks like those are the last of the ants over there. We could just go back to town, but we just cleared up a lot of weight. So let's just wander around to the north a little bit. Now we're going to be getting into town soon and just talking to people. Oh, ants up here. And going to be talking to people. And just heal up a little bit because there's a large crowd we're going into, but we're one-shotting them now, so we'll be fine. We'll be talking to people, we'll be getting quests, we'll be exploring all over the world, finding crazy new enemies. These are just very simple enemies, so, you know. That's why it seems like super simple what we're doing here. Not that the game in general is particularly complicated, but it's a fun one. And you can go buy this game on goodoldgames.com if you'd like to, GOG.com. And in fact, it also comes with, oh, there's a club there, not a very good one, and a healing salve. It actually comes with the, let's use some of these roots. It comes with the sequel, the second game, which I've actually never played before, but I know it's made in the same terrible engine, which I guess on the upside means I know how to record it now. And again, we'll get into that on the second episode. And speaking of second episode, I think it's about time for that. I feel like you kind of know what the game's all about. You know what? I believe to get more dexterity, we're actually going to raise to the next level. So we're going to just get the vitality. There we go. We've really raised up our vitality doing that. There's our walls. And I think what we'll do is we'll just walk around a little bit, see the perimeter of our village a little bit more. We can see that we have some beach up here. Oh, hey, there's an item on the ground. We'll put away our weapon for now. Quivers of copper arrows. Copper arrows are the second worst arrow type. A little bit better than the default, which I think are just wooden. Oh, and an armor laying up here. That's a nice find, considering we have no body armor on. This is leather armor, and it weighs too much for us right now. So we will drop that club. Will that be enough? No. Well, we can use the barter screen here to figure it out. There we go. Oh, right. It's telling us the actual value of it rather than the weight. That's actually pretty funny. Not that it's supposed to do that, but you know. What we'll do then is current weight, max weight. Okay. We only need to save the slightest of slight amounts. So we'll just mix potions. Do we have any really low quality potions we could mix? What's our weakest healing salve? Ugh, we already did this for the most part. All right, we'll do that. It's over 10, but it's not a huge deal. And that'll let us pick this up. No, still not, still weight exceeded? Oh, weighs slightly more than I expected. We'll drop some copper arrows. We're probably not going to use a bow anyway. Here we go. And we can just wear it. Perfect. And can't pick that back up? No. Okay, we can see that we have leather armor on, as you can just see from our chest. And we're just going to walk the rest of the perimeter real quick. We can see our armor rating is much higher than it used to be. Okay, and it looks like the map doesn't scroll any more to the right. So the only area that we haven't checked in this zone is wherever those spiders were to the far south. Because this is where we started. Looks like they somehow cleaned up the bodies. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Konung. On the next episode, right at the beginning, I'll be telling you the amazing story of how I got this game recording. And I will also be getting into managing the town and talking to the villagers, getting some quests, and exploring out into the world. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe or click the things that you're seeing on the screen right now. I hope that you've enjoyed, and until next time, have a nice day.